All right, so now that we have all of the company names and positions and titles here, if you were doing it, you'd have a lot more than this, probably like 100 or so. But I'm just doing 10 for as an example, or even this is even 10. This is okay, 11. Doing 11, whatever. Now you got to find the email address. So here's how I do it. Pretty much, I just copy all of them and I make a new sheet and I just paste them right here and I add titles, headings above each one. And then I add the Hunter for Sheets add-on. So if you want to do this, you have to have a hunter.io account, but you can just go to get add-ons and then search for, once it loads, the Hunter add-on. Okay, and bam, it's right there. So you can add that there, and then all you have to do is go to Hunter for Sheets and open it, and then you're going to go to Email Finder up here on the top right. So instead of domain search, do Email Finder, and then you're going to put in the data here. So the first name is in column D, last name is in column E, domain name is in column B, and company name is in column A. And then you just click Find Email Addresses with this checked, and it's going to go through and it's going to look for the emails, which is pretty cool. If it doesn't find the email, don't worry. We're going to go back through and try and find all of the ones that it couldn't find by itself on our own. Depending on the industry, it usually will find most of them. So now it's gone through and found them. So let's see if we can figure out how to find this guy's email without the tool. Well, with a tool, but manually. Okay. Anyway, first thing I'll do is put the email into here, and it's going to give us the most common pattern, first dot last. So if this guy's name is Gabriel Del Porto, let's try Gabriel.delporto at udacity.com. I think that was it, right? Invalid. So let's try, his name's Gabriel. Let's try a nickname. Sometimes nicknames will go well. So you can search for, if you don't know the nicknames, you can just search first name, nicknames, and see what comes up. So Gabe is a good nickname. So let's try Gabe. Invalid. Oops. Valid. Bam. Gabe at udacity.com. This is probably him. So then we can just go ahead and add this. So I'm going to make this 100 because we already know it's valid, and do OK. Now there are three types of emails. Okay. You've got valid, you've got invalid, and then you have accept all. Okay. Now, here's basically what this means. I'm going to go to AWW app and I'm going to explain this to you, and then hopefully you can kind of understand. So if this is our mail server over here, and we're sending an email to the other mail server, okay, not the best example here, but what the heck. So this is our email server, and this is their email server, okay? So basically, you're sending from, Jacob at 2winerseo.com to Gabe at udacity.com. So if this is an actual address, then the email will send over, and it'll land in his inbox, and he'll have the email over here, and he'll be able to read it. And that's so a valid email will deliver, basically. It'll deliver. It's a check mark. You want valid emails, okay? If you have an invalid email, let's say in another example, let's say instead of sending to the right address, we sent to Gabe.t or something, a random address. This isn't the right address, obviously. Okay, so let's say we sent to Gabe.t. Well, if we go here and we test it, we can see it's invalid. So if we email this guy, we're gonna get a weird message. Like, let me see if I can find the message. I'm going to off screen, but let's see if I can find a bounce back message. In my trash can here. Essentially what happens is you're not going to be able to deliver the email, and you're going to get a weird message like this. This is what you're going to see. It's going to say message blocked. And this is bad because if we send an email and the message is blocked, this is going to hurt. Well, first of all, the person who we're emailing isn't going to see the email, so that's not good. Second of all, if you bounce too many emails, you'll get marked as spam, because if you're emailing to somebody who you actually know, you're not going to get marked as spam because or at least if you're emailing someone who you actually know, odds are the email will be valid because you know them and it will deliver. If it's invalid and it bounces and you have too many of them, you're wasting time and you might get marked as spam. So invalid, what's going to happen is if you send to this email, you're going to try and send the email and then it's going to get bounced back. Okay? That's called a bounce, and it's not good. So this is a bounce. So there's one more kind of email. It's called a catch-all or accept all. And I don't know if I have an example of this off the bat. But essentially an accept all is an email server where it doesn't tell you if it's valid or invalid. Okay? So when it's an accept all, you don't know if it doesn't tell you. It basically means any address you send to that domain, it'll go through, but it might bounce. It's hard to say. You just can't verify that it's valid for sure. So here's how this is what accept all is. It accepts all emails, but it might bounce. It's hard to explain, but they're not good either. I only want to send to valid emails. So what this tool did, what Hunter.io did, is it essentially guessed these addresses. It guessed these emails based on the data in the system, but we want to be absolutely sure that these are the right emails. So I use a tool called NeverBounce, and NeverBounce is the first 1,000 emails are free, and it's really cool what you can do. So here's what I would do. I would copy the emails from this sheet, make another new sheet, and paste them here and just name it email, okay? And then you're going to download as a CSV, okay, comma separated values. And then you're going to go to the NeverBounce clean page, and you're going to click this button that says add list, and then you're just going to drag and drop this in here, and this is going to create a job. And what it will do is it's going to allow you to check all the emails and make sure that they're actually valid. So you can pay using 11 credits. So it looks like we had 7 valids, 4 accept alls, and 1 invalid. So if we download this, download all results, click download, go back over here, you're going to hit file, import, go to upload, and then drag the new sheet into the upload folder. And then make sure you click replace current sheet, okay? This one right here. Do not click replace spreadsheet. Do not click any of these. Make sure you replace only this sheet. Click import data. So now you're going to see the status of all these emails. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy and paste these back over. And we can see the status of these, okay? So essentially, if we were to filter these, what you could see is that we have I think 7 valid emails. So these are all verified. And then we also have 1, 2, 3, 4 accept all emails, okay? Now, I'm not really a huge fan of accept all emails because, to be honest with you, you can't verify them for sure. So I don't really know if I want to send to these. So what I would do is I would go and just copy all of these back in to the sheet that we have here. And these are not in the right column because this says first line and the email address should be here. So I'm just going to move these over. Okay. So now we have everyone's emails and we have the validation. But remember, I only want valid emails. So what I would do is I would filter and only show the valids. And now I have 7 emails, okay? So this would be 7 finished leads, okay? We have the company name, we have the website, we have the position, their first and last name, we have the emails, and we have them validated to make sure that they're good to send. That's the process. So basically, in summary, you find a lead bucket, and I have other videos on this if you haven't seen them. You find the lead bucket, and you go through and record all the companies you want to email. Then you find all the websites. Then you find all of the people you want to email. Then you find all of their emails, and then you validate them. And then this first line here is for somebody else. It's for a different job. So as a prospector, you don't have to do this. So in fact, I can even mark this off and say prospector use. I can do this. And I will make this background green. So you know what you should be working on, and then you know what you should not be working on. But essentially, this is how you build the leads. This is how you find the emails. This is how you do all that stuff. Now, in summary, I recommend finding only 65%, roughly 65 to 70% of the leads you find are going to be valid. So, for example, in this test, only 58% of the emails were valid. I think with a bigger sample size, we would have had about 60%. So, if you're trying to find 100 leads and you know only 60% of them are going to be good, you should actually find 166, because if only 60% of them are going to work, then you know that you're going to need to, at the end of the day, you'll have 100. So that's how you do it. Hopefully this helps, and this is how the process works. So yeah, good luck with your own lead generation efforts.